I thought ZAP Root Rider was dead, but Sawan, who reset 3rd in the world, is proving all of us wrong, and today I'm going to show you some of his awesome attacks. When Root Riders got their latest nerf, I said ZAP Root Rider would be gone forever. And Sawan took that personally and decided to take it out on my base here. Yes, we're starting off this video with an attack on my base, but don't worry, we've got other attacks from Sawan throughout the video. In fact, he shared 7 or 8 replays with me, and I was going through them all, and then he attacked me only hours later. I thought, well, I have to put that in the video. So you start with the zap spells. As per usual, go for as much value as you can. So he gets rid of the bomb, gets rid of a bomb tower, monolith, and the poison tower. They're pretty good anti-Root Rider value. Now, you're not going to see him use the Flame Flinger in every attack today. In fact, only use the Flame Flinger with this army when you're going to get awesome value where you're not sending in your Root Riders. Otherwise, the Siege Barracks is very strong. Then you, after the zaps, put the King and Queen to get a nice little Sui. So he cleared out a corner of the base here. And then enter with your Root Riders kind of alongside your hero push. So wherever your hero push finishes up, that's where your Root Riders should start. And you are going to deploy the Royal Champion with your Root Riders. We're not going to use the Royal Champion by herself on the back end of the base. She is coming with the Root Riders here to make the push as strong as possible. And the reason I know that, aside from watching all of the replays that someone sent me and seeing that be a common theme, is on the Warden we see the Diggy. Now, if you see the Poison Lizard with the Warden as a pet, then a lot of the time you'll see people use the Royal Champion separately because they're not worried about, say, a Dragon in the defensive CC killing their entire Root Rider push. Whereas with the Diggy, it won't deal with the defensive CC, but the Royal Champion can. Now, the Flame Flinger didn't get insane value here, but it doesn't have to. It's just got to clear out a little bit of the base here. And Swag, Queen ability, Royal Champion unused as well. Sawan wrecked my base here, and this is a really good approach for box bases. Zap to activate the Town Hall with the Earthquake spell, and then Flame Flinger the Town Hall. Completely wrecks my base here. I watched this live as well, and yeah, I was pretty miserable about that one. This is the style of base that's gotten very common this season. Diamond bases with a Rage Tower in the core and a Poison Tower by the Town Hall. And very interestingly here, Sawan does not zap the Eagle Artillery. Now, we have to get rid of the Rage Tower. The Rage Tower does far too much damage to be kept alive, but goes for the multi-end Archer Tower instead of the Eagle there. And there's one reason for it: better pathing. By having this multi-arch tower down, troops are going to path through the Town Hall more reliably, rather than kind of going each their own way once the Town Hall goes down. Annoying defensive CC here, but you can see he did save 1 lightning spell. We only needed 6 zap and 1 quake to get rid of the multi-archer tower, so we used the lightning spell to deal with the headhunters. The king, he does his own job. His job is to clear an even better funnel than the zaps could, and then we enter in here, and the queen is going to stay alive. This won't happen every attack, but if it happens in your attack, that is really handy. And you can see the Siege Barracks here. Got Yetis in the Siege Barracks. Given how often he uses the Siege Barracks, I would say use Valks, but the Yetis are nice, maybe more so if you use a Flame Flinger, which he does about 30% of the time in the small sample size I've got. And you can see the difference the Druids make with this army. Keep in mind, when Root Riders got nerfed, and I kind of said Zap Root Rider would be kind of strong, but nowhere near as strong as the Overgrowth versions, and therefore would be dead. We didn't have Druids at that point, right? So a lot of the time you would find that the Zap Root Rider would die out on the back end of the base when you don't have the spells. But now with the Druids in this army is definitely usable. Is it as strong as regular Root Riders? No, I'm not going to go as far as saying that. I think regular Root Riders is definitely stronger. But I don't think anyone's trying to stop Zap value on their base in this meta. They're trying to stop Root Riders any way they can. Zap Lalo isn't that used. Not even Stars is using Zap Lalo at the moment. And Zap Root Riders is definitely not used much. So it's opened a slight little gap in the meta for this army to be very strong. This is a very awkward style of base to hit, and Sawan wrecked it with the power of the Zaps, the King for the funnel, and then the Druids and Healing Tome. Now, when it comes to these double Invis Tower bases, we always want to zap out one of them. Keep in mind, there's always going to be good defensive value around these Invis Towers, because otherwise, what's the point of them, right? So, anytime you see them, get rid of it. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same if you see a base with 2 Rage Towers. Always get rid of one of them. Spell towers are incredibly powerful. So we start the king and queen here, and they are going to go to the left together. I believe this was the plan, but I couldn't tell you for sure. And yet again, coming in with the siege barracks. Siege barracks definitely use more. Like I said though, if you can find good flame flinger value, go for it. For instance, this might have been okay flame flinger value if you could deal with the multi-mortar, with the archers and barbs that you see in this army comp. But it does require a bit of multitasking, and some of the time it's just easier to put all your troops on the same side of the base together. Actually, I think it's always easier to do that. So entering straight into the CC here, and he's so patient with the Warden ability. That's what surprised me, and that's why this army is so much stronger than it used to be, because the Druids are able to keep your troops alive so much longer than they would have been able to otherwise. Queen's going in here dealing with the town hall. Interestingly, he doesn't bring the healer puppet. He brings the frozen arrow, and I think that reaffirms the point where with his Sui, he's using the king to funnel and then using the queen next to the king, but funneling her into the base. If he was expecting her to get good value in the Sui, then you'd often bring the healer puppet so you have the extra hit points on the queen. But if you're expecting your queen to live for a long time, like entering the base consistently, then it's much better to bring the frozen arrow. Now this invis tower goes off on the back end. It does make the attack a bit wonky for a second, but doesn't really matter. So many root riders up, and we made sure we froze the invis tower the first time so we could get rid of the defenses on the near side. So we got rid of the ricochet cannon before the invis tower went off, and that way when the invis tower goes off, there's not really that many defenses that are shooting at your troops anymore, and this is completely wrecked. This army is definitely surprising me. Maybe I should revisit this army later this season. Earlier in the video, you saw Sawan attack at my double poison tower, really compact box space. So decided to show you something slightly different here. This is a more spread out box space with 2 rage towers, and obviously we're going to zap out that rage tower. We get rid of the eagle rage tower, multi-arch tower, and a multi-inferno. Pretty good value. Pretty good value. Now, a few of you have asked for a while now, you know, why don't you see box spaces as much in videos? I want to know how to take down box spaces. And this here is why. Because if you can Sui the town hall on a box space, which on most of them you can, the rest of the base goes down really easily. The town hall is a really important defense, and that's why a lot of the time it's not necessarily in the center, but defended by a whole lot of defenses. The invis vial is going to go off here, and this is why I think he brings the invis vial instead of the magic mirror. I asked if he's going to use the magic mirror, and he said no at this stage, and it's just for stuff like this. If your queen is Suiing the town hall, you want that instantaneous damage that the invis vial provides. But I could see the magic mirror being good with this army, honestly, given how long the queen is staying alive consistently throughout these attacks, and given how rarely he's using the queen ability with the Sui, but instead at the back end of the base. But I mean, I don't think it really matters. Invis Vial, Magic Mirror, you're 3-starring bases with this army regardless. Skeleton Spell's doing a really good job here. Well, it's not tanking the monolith, so it's not doing that good a job. But the idea of the skeleton in the army, you can definitely see the reason for it there. And this has been completely wrecked. So the question is, do you guys think that ZAP Root Rider is a legitimate attack strategy at the moment? Or is it just that Root Riders and hero equipment is a bit too strong such that any Root Rider army will triple? I think both of them can definitely be true, but Sawan in the top 10 in the world, and I'm going to say this, not a lot of the other players inside the top 10 are playing by the same rules as Sawan. Win trading is rife at the top of Legends League, and I'm thinking we're going to do a video on it in the next couple of days. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe now, where we will talk about all the problems with the top of Legends League. And that makes Sawan resetting 3rd in the world, and he is not a cheater, so much more impressive.